Master Shri Yogesh Ji and the patron of Jigyasa, Shri Ram Madhav Ji, for arranging this program and inviting me to talk about the subject of the book. I must register my great appreciation for both Professor Abhi and Professor Yogesh Ji for talking extensively about my book. Nothing pleases an author to know that somebody has read his book. So I'm delighted that both seem to have read, because otherwise those quotes were, Yogesh was giving quotes from different pages. I know where each quote was located in the book. So he must have read through the book, then only he could have located those pages. So I'm really happy to know that they have read it. And I was really feeling happy as an author that they were extensively quoting from my book. But I must also add that my publisher will be very unhappy. Because if you disclose too much about the book here itself, nobody will buy. Oh, this is the book. Okay, we knew about the book, that's enough. So now I'm in a dilemma. Should I speak more about the book? Already too much is revealed. So I don't probably get too much into the book. I leave it to you after such wonderful presentations by two senior academics here. I'm sure you will be interested to read it. But I would like to give some reasoning for this book. Why probably this book is important? Not because I authored it, but generally speaking, you see, we are always very proud of our nation, and we believe that this nation has great future. It has a destiny to fulfill. It has a duty to accomplish. We believe in it. We sometimes honestly feel that we have to become Vishwaguru. The problem is, we are a bit romantic. Swami Vivekananda, during one of his many foreign sojourns, one day he spoke to an audience in London. This was after his Chicago speech. By then he became very popular, famous. So naturally, those who have read Vivekananda's speeches abroad would know that he used to talk about the greatness of our religion, our culture, our civilization. That used to be the topic of his speech. How great was our ancient civilization, our culture, our history and all that. After his speech, one gentleman in the audience gets up and asks him a very important question. He says, Swamiji, I was so greatly impressed by your speech, especially about the greatness of your dharma, your civilization, etc., etc. But may I ask you, if you have such a great dharma, great samskriti, great civilization, why is your country like this? Why are you an enslaved nation? Why are you a poor country? Why are your people struggling for 2 square meals a day? Because those days, our literacy rate was 17% and our poverty rate was 70%. Vivekananda was taken aback. He didn't expect that question. But he recomposed himself and said, my friend, your question is very, very important. Very true. But what can I do? My religion is great. My value system is great. But my people are lethargic and romantic. We are very lethargic. We live in a dream world. We believe that India has to become Vishwaguru, but that duty is on Modi ji, not on us. I wanted to caution that we are entering into a new era in our lives, in the life of this humanity, mankind, this world, where you cannot afford to be lethargic and romantic anymore if only you want to play a role. If only you want to become what you intend to become, Vishwaguru, etc. So the whole purpose is, first of all, to shed that lethargy, understand where the world is going, understand where we stand today, and then do what needs to be done. This book is in two compartments. One compartment talks about where the world is heading. Remember, history never runs at the same pace always. Sometimes it runs excruciatingly slowly. When we were under the British rule, people of that caliber like Lala Lajpat Rai, I mean, nobody can question Lajpat Rai's patriotism. But Lajpat Rai at one point says, you see, we are being ruled by a very organized race, the British race. They are very organized, disciplined people. Can we ever really get freedom? This was the kind of, it was the kind of smooth situation we used to live in. But we came out of it, we secured independence. So we need to understand that we are entering into a new world. We have to really equip ourselves for that. The purpose of this book is that. So I dedicated one full segment to where the world is heading. Which is the driving force of the world in this century? In the last century, when we came out of our slavery, colonization in 1947, countries which were strong on economy and trade became powerful nations in the world. Initially it was American, European nations. Then, as Professor Yogesh mentioned, in 80s and 90s, China understood that for me to become a great country, I have to develop my economy and my trade capacity. Do you know, in 1980, both India and China were at the same GDP level, 1980. Many of you were already born by then. But today, we are 1/6 of China's GDP. What happened between 80 and today, 45 years? China understood that for me to become a big power, I have to strengthen my economy and my trade. We were under a very socialistic dream, socialism which failed everywhere, which was failing everywhere. In 1970s, already there were symptoms that socialism was a failure. But do you know, in 1976, we inserted the word socialism in our constitution. We said where world was rejecting socialism, we believed that we should insert it in our constitution and we should proclaim that we are a secular socialist republic. Socialism may be a very noble idea, but doesn't work. You are not that in any case. You are not socialist in any case. You are humanist. You can be welfareist. Welfareism is not socialism. Welfareism is there in capitalism also. Why I am saying is, that much romantic we are. We are not bothered about, what is the meaning of it, is it relevant or not. Because it is famous elsewhere, we adopt it. I give you one more such phrase, how romantic we are. Somebody in 1998, a guy called Joseph Nye, a great professor, आप लोग नाम सुने होंगे, जोसेफ ने हार्वर्ड में पढ़ाते थे. Joseph ने wrote a book. First he wrote an article in Foreign Affairs magazine, then he wrote a book, Soft Power. The title of the book is Soft Power. I tell you, whether we know about it, don't know about it, in every bhashan, most of us use that word soft power, soft power. India का soft power है. क्या इंडिया का soft power है? हमारे धाबा है अमेरिका में, या हमारा भरतनाट्यम होता है अमेरिका में. Soft power is, there is no such thing called soft power. धाबा तो 1900 से है. सरदार जी लोग तो बहुत पहले गए विदेश में. But we become suddenly romantic. We catch hold of certain words and we then start talking about them. Software. You need strategic powers. उसमें सॉफ्ट पावर भी हो सकता है, हार्ड पावर भी हो सकता है, कभी सॉफ्ट भी कभी हार्ड भी होगा। आपकी फिलॉसफी ने कहा वज्रादपि कठोरानि मृदूनि कुसुपादपि लोकोत्तराणाम चेतांसि कोई विज्ञातम अर्हसि। The great men can be sometimes very soft, but they can be sometimes very hard. You can never understand a great man by seeing their exterior. You have to be strategic. That is what is needed. But किसी ने कहा सॉफ्ट पावर, उसको पकड़ के घूमते रहते हैं। सॉफ्ट पावर, इंडिया का सॉफ्ट पावर। We have to shed this romance. We have to become realistic. We have to understand where the world is going. World is changing so very fast, my friends, and especially the youngsters here, and especially to the academic community, with all humility. After all, I am nobody to tell you, you know so many things. You study, you research, you do a lot of work. But we are nowhere. We have to do a lot of hard work. Here is the Prime Minister. He has a vision for the country. He wants India to reach that pinnacle, that goal by 2047 when we turn 100. Maybe he will be there or somebody else will be there, but India has to reach there. See, he is already trying to set us move in that direction, but we are not able to understand. We are not able to get into that mode. Still we are not getting into that mode. We are still struggling with our romanticism. It's very dangerous. I am telling you, we will be nowhere. No, that doesn't mean world doesn't change. World will change. There will be a new order. But you will just be following it. You will again be a follower. In the previous order, we were followers. We followed the Western model. We adopted capitalism, we adopted socialism, we adopted this, we adopted that, we adopted Westminster model democracy. ठीक है, that time we were weak, we were in a colonial mode, just came out, we were not strong enough to articulate our own vision. But today we are not weak anymore. You are growing, you are strong, you have a great leadership. But it has to be whole of nation approach. It's not just Prime Minister centric approach. It's got whole of nation. My effort is that for us to understand. Just 2-3 submissions I make and why close, maybe we can interact. Geopolitics छोड़ दीजिए, वो बड़ा विषय है, politicians they will deal with it. But do you know that the new era that we are entering will be, like I said, the last century was the century of economy and trade. New century will be economy and technology. We have entered the fourth industrial revolution era, fourth industrial revolution. This is an era where artificial intelligence and it will influence every field of science, every field of, I would say, it's going to influence the life of every individual on this planet. Nobody can escape from it. We have entered this era. We are entering the era of meta-humans. Meta-humans means we already probably have virtual classrooms, right? You have virtual classrooms. I don't know this university, but many